Bushcraft family here today, and morning talk. I guess I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to come up with a new name for these little Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because by the time I get it recorded and get it edited and all that stuff, it's in the late afternoon. But guys, what we're gonna talk about today is something again with the food shortages. The government, the CD, the FDA, or whatever it is, one of the government agencies has determined there is no shortage. Now, I'm not sure where they get this data at or whatnot, but when I go to the store and I see empty shelves, that's a shortage. And if I go back the next week and then there's still nothing on that same shelf, that's a shortage. And I've been doing a little research, looking around and whatnot, and I found some interesting things that a few sites have been touching on. And let's go ahead and switch over to there. Let's make sure we get over. There we go. Now, as you can see here on the screen, I did a little bit reading here, and national shutdown has thrown the traditional food supply chains in disarray, basically. Um, for one thing, all the restaurants and stuff have been shut down. Um, well, pretty much. You can go eat outside, or it's different in different states, but um, for like you say, flour, rice, and all that stuff that usually went in big 100-pound bags, 50-pound bags that went to restaurants and bars and stuff like that, are basically just setting on skids just like this in the picture, because there's nowhere to go with it. Um, Most places like um, grocery stores and stuff, they don't have them big old bags for you to. And most families, non-preppers, most families are not going to buy that big old bag because they're just not going to use it. Um, and for bars, they're finding out there's kegs and kegs of beer just going stale because they can't sell it, and they're still. I think they're still counting this stuff as being um, not a shortage because it's just stockpiles of setting somewhere and not on the shelves. And these politicians and these rich people, how often do they go to the grocery store and get their own food? Um, Most of them have cooks and stuff and people to cook for them and plan their meals and all this stuff. So I wonder how in touch are these people with us, the people who actually are seeing shortages and stuff. Um, and we go to the food processing factories and stuff that are shutting down. And I've touched touched this in a few other videos, um, about plants having to shut down because of the virus got in there, and places are like, for instance, Sioux Falls plant. It's shut down in April, so that means the other factories, processing places, has to pick up the slack. And with people getting COVID and not going to work and whatnot, um, these plants are real low on their workers. So that means they're they have to slow down their lines because not enough people to cover the lines. So that means less stuff is going out, which means less stuff is going to the grocery store, which means they're not getting as much money, so they raise the prices on stuff, which doesn't help things out. Um, I think instead of doing all the bills and sanctions and all this stuff, there should be something in line to where these companies cannot start raising prices just because there's a shortage. Um, at least until we get things back on track a little bit. I mean, it's getting out of hand. Some of the prices have went up like really high. Um, for chicken's usually pretty cheap, and I've seen it go up $3-4 a package, and it's when you're on a budget and you can't afford to put that much more into it. That means it's less money or less food it's getting back back to the consumer. Um, Dairy products, and now it's starting to go to eggs too. Um, they're finding out that they don't have um, their distribution is thrown way out of whack, and they're still having trouble getting it under control to where um, they're just the milk is just sitting there going to waste because there's nowhere for it to go because nobody's there to pick it up and take it to uh, places, dairy, put it into dairy products, cheese, and all that stuff. It's just sitting there going to waste. And now they're having the same problem with eggs. Eggs are just rotten in the shell because there's nowhere, they can't get it to where they need to be. Um, and until that gets resolved, um, eventually those prices are going to go up too. Everything from cottage cheese to cheese, sour cream, everything that's made with eggs, um, and the eggs themselves. And if we go and look at our migrant workers, the people who go out there and work hard and um, pick our vegetables and fruit and stuff. A lot of them have got sick. A lot of them have died from this, and you just don't have the workers anymore, and that slows down production. That means less vegetables and stuff that gets back to us. And another article I looked at was talked about beans. 2019, they had a very bad year for beans. So that meant the following year, which 2020, we had a big shortage of beans. And then everybody went out and stockpiled and hoarded a bunch of stuff. So that didn't help things. So farmers in 2020 um, had trouble getting their crops in for beans because everybody wanted beans, so a lot of farmers went out for beans, and there was a seed shortage on beans. So that means this year we're going to be hit again with bean shortages, and that's just not um, your beans that you go and buy in your grocery store, a pound of beans or whatever. That also, there's a lot of stuff that beans are made into. Um, for one, burrito mix, um, stuff like that. Refried beans, cans of refried beans and stuff. All that is going to go up, and it used to be beans are a very cheap meal to make and stuff, but now I'm pretty sure it's going to go up. And another thing, I don't know if it's on this pay, yeah, exports. Um, a lot of places are not exporting their food now. So like rice in Vietnam is one of the biggest um, rice producers. They're not exporting. So that means rice is the next thing to go up because we're not getting it. And we have some we do grow some rice in United States, but not near enough as what the United States would eat. Um, so like these things, guys, I'm telling you, is stuff that you want to try to figure out a way to stock up on, um, because I'm assuming it's going to get bad on a lot of these types, and there's numerous things that I could go over shortages. China is buying up all of our aluminum, so that means anything that we we can or drinks and stuff like that, that those prices will go up because aluminum has gone up. Because China is buying up all of our aluminum, and there's nothing to stop them from doing it. Um, there should be there should be something that keeps us having our own aluminum stayed in United States and not be sold elsewhere. I know China probably going to get a better price than what somebody in the United States will buy aluminum for, and I think that's one of the main issues there. But let's go on to meat. When the virus began shutting down meat processing plants, this has been all over. Um, some plants, like I said, some plants are opening, but now uh, with the new bill signed and gone through and everything, that OSHA has made it more strict for COVID. Oh, I said the COVID word. Oh well. But here, let me go ahead and thought this was interesting. We have another page here. Pilgrims offering workers $100 bonus to get the COVID. That thing. That's a bad word, so I can't say it. It's not really a bad word, but it is on YouTube. um, but and they said the company did a survey, and the survey showed that about 60 to 90% of workers are willing to get the shot. I mean, there's a big range there from 60 to 90. So they're saying about 10 to 40% don't want it. And I'm assuming it's a bit higher than that because from what I gather from my community and the people that watch my videos and stuff, they're refusing to uh, to take this shot, which I don't blame them. I would not want to take this shot either. For one thing, I don't want to go into this because it's a whole another rabbit hole. There is I don't trust I don't trust it, plain and simple. Now the other one that I've been doing some research, Johnson. Um, that I might, but I want more data on it. A lot of times it's really hard to get actual data on these things. Um, like the other two that are out right now. it's really hard to get anything out of that. There's a lot of stuff that they talk about, and then you don't. It's like, oh well, we don't really know yet. Well, why are you giving it to people? Let's not go down that road. Okay, but okay, say that they have days where everybody in the plant, or however they're going to do it, maybe they have uh, half the people in this plant are out for how many days to take the shot. So that means that plant is going to start struggling because all those people are taking a shot. Now, how many people that get that shot are going to go back to work and not have any side effects? Um, that's another thing you don't hear about the side effects that people are having. Um, Even though I've heard and seen a lot of people that have, and their side effects are quite bad. So they wouldn't be going back to work. So that means more worker shortages at that plant. So that means, yeah. And like I said earlier, um, with Mr. Biden there, he did the executive order for OSHA to issue tougher guidance for employers on workplace safety, which should have been done day one when everything was shut down and when they knew that they had to get back to work. This should have been done then. That way, we wouldn't have been running into all the issues that we were of people getting sick, people dying, um, and having to shut down the plant to clean it and all that stuff. This should have been done when we had the shutdown. But yeah, guys, like I like I was saying, with a lot of things that are getting that's supposed to be imported into the United States, like rice, and there's other things. Um, a lot of these countries are not exporting their goods anymore. They're saving them, and that for that right there, that reason alone makes you wonder why. If they're holding their food and stuff, not exporting it, what is going on? And we're still exporting food. We're still exporting beef and pork and all this stuff to other countries. But yet, according to the government, we're not having a shortage, so that's okay. But if you go to the store, you see less and less of it, and the price is more and more. But I think that's about enough of this subject for today. Fridays, I think I'm going to have something a little bit nicer to go over in the morning talk or something, because this this talking about the food thing is a real downer basically. But guys, that is it for today. I'm gonna go ahead and end this, so I'm not keeping you guys too long. Um, Video shout out for today for the two YouTubers, um, Southern Blessed Homestead. Um, Very good folks. Make sure you go over and check them out. Um, Gotta ask him to do his chicken dance. He has a fancy little chicken dance. Make sure you if you do subscribe, make sure you comment. That way it sticks in place. And tell them Bushcraft sent you. And another good channel to check out is Simple Life Reclaim. That's it. They're packing up their stuff and they're getting ready to sell their house, and they're moving from Arizona to Arkansas. They're going to start fresh out there. They brought property. They'll be living in a trailer with three kids, which is going to be fun. Um, and they're starting their own little homestead out there. So that'll be something good to watch. Again, subscribe to them. Make sure you tell them Bushcraft sent you. Until next time, yep. God bless, guys.